On April 19, 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord occurred, signifying the start of the American Revolutionary War. By the time the war broke out, it was a long time coming between the American colonists and Great Britain. Unfair taxation and trade legislation from the British disrupted the economy of the colonists, but Great Britain was desperate to repay its bills from another war, so passing the burden on to the Americans seemed to make financial sense. These two were at odds and couldn't come to a mutual agreement. With tensions boiling and discontentment across the colonies, an all-out war broke out, and for 8 long years, the American colonists fought Great Britain. Both sides lost tens of thousands of lives in total, but in the end, the Americans won. And with the Treaty of Paris, Great Britain recognized American independence, reluctantly. When it comes to being independent, there first has to be self-respect. Because it's only with respecting yourself can someone be independent. Otherwise, being dependent on someone or something shows a lack of self-respect. And to be a confident, well-rounded individual, self-respect is the prerequisite. In this video, we're going to explore a little deeper the relationship between self-respect and being independent. But wait, what is self-respect? Based on the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it's a proper respect for oneself as a human being. So that makes sense, because when you think about it, there are a lot of things we can do that are not giving us our proper respect as human beings. Things like dehumanizing yourself, putting others on a pedestal, not standing up for yourself, not setting boundaries. You get the idea. In this super connected world, it's easy to lose sight of the big picture and not give ourselves the respect we deserve. We have toxic thoughts circling in our heads saying, I'm not XYZ, thus I'm a piece of crap. Thoughts like these don't make us realize that it's okay to be imperfect human beings. And when we think of ourselves as less than regular human beings, it makes it very hard to develop self-respect, making us prone to being needy or just not living up to our full potential. So with a better understanding of self-respect and a lack of self-respect, let's see why self-respect is needed for being an independent individual. With self-respect, you don't need to see yourself as some holy individual. You just need to see yourself as another human being with flaws, doing their best to make something of themselves. So when you have self-respect, you'll naturally not tolerate anyone or anything that will be degrading to you. And it doesn't make sense to, because when you see yourself and everyone else as human beings, you're not going to think that anybody is special. You understand that you and the other 7 billion people on earth take a crap, feel fear, happiness, sadness, etc. So again, why disrespect yourself for other people? It's kind of silly when you meditate on this idea, because with self-respect, you realize that if things don't work out, you can always start over. Self-respect makes you realize when people or situations are not living up to your standard, since your standard is all about giving yourself the proper respect as a human being. So when anyone or any situation tries to make you feel less human, that's a sign that something needs to change. That being said, let's see some situations of self-respect showing independence. One area where self-respect shows its independence is the love life. A lot of people put up with crap from potential lovers in the hopes of getting a date, relationship, or sex. Yet, this is the opposite of a self-respecting human being. With self-respect, a person will engage with potential lovers and all. However, if the other person is being rude, entitled, etc., then a self-respecting person will not hesitate to end things and move on, because nothing is worth degrading yourself for. And for the young guys watching this, not even getting laid is worth disrespecting yourself. Self-respect shows you have standards in life and that you're not afraid to walk away when those standards are not met. Another area that self-respect can help you be independent is your career. Anyone who has spent 1 week at a job knows some people are difficult to work with. They could be the office bully or someone who's trying to get to the top of the company and will trample on anyone to get there. Yet, with a self-respecting individual, you are not independent of anyone or anything. So if people are being disrespectful to you, you will take the necessary actions like standing up for yourself, getting your supervisor involved, or finding another job. Honestly, anytime you're interacting with people, your self-respect will help you to make the right choices in being an independent individual. However, let's be a little more tangible and see what we can do to start developing self-respect. I made a video on this, so you can check it out here, but I'll also give you an updated Cliff Notes version. To start building self-respect, get your basic affairs in order. And when I say basic affairs, I mean things like your finances, fitness, passion projects, social life, all those things that build self-respect. Also, you want to practice courage and have values to live by. All these will help you in building your self-respect because all of this gives you the proper respect as a human being. So don't watch this and nod, but watch this and take one actionable step. That being said, what if it's difficult to develop self-respect? I get this. I lived 10 years of my life with no self-respect where I allowed bullies and a toxic parent to affect the way I viewed myself, and I let fear hold me back, and not once did I ever challenge myself. And whenever I tried to build self-respect, it was hard and fruitless. I worked out, read books, tried to be more social, etc. Yet none of those things worked. So what I should have done a lot sooner was to go see a therapist. Sometimes we bury our trauma so much that we don't know what's holding us back. And with a therapist, they will help you discover the things that are holding you back and help unleash your full potential. Now, some will think that therapy is expensive, and yes, it is. I've said this many times in all my other videos. But if you had cancer, there's a good chance you will do whatever it takes to get the proper treatments. So when it comes to our mental health, we don't treat it the same. Listen, you only have one chance at life, and you need to do whatever it takes to become your best self. And to be your best self, you need to respect yourself. So if therapy can help you, do it. You have to do whatever it takes to become your best self. Again, life is fleeting by, so you don't want to waste another moment. I lost 10 years of my life, and there's always going to be a part of me that grieves about it. And I consider myself lucky. So don't make the same mistake as me. Do your part for yourself. And to exemplify my experience, let me tell you how I acted with no self-respect and with self-respect. When I was 22, I worked in a botany lab for the summer. It was a fun job where I did experiments, collected data for the postdoc students, and my co-workers were either other students my age or PhD students. One of the student workers named Will started to pick on me early. He didn't do this to the other student workers, but only me. He would make fun of me, interrupt me, and just overall just not treat me with any respect. And one of my friends who was also a co-worker, he saw all this and he didn't even defend me once. And foolishly, I was hoping he would defend me, but that never happened. Because of my lack of self-respect, I let this coworker treat me like crap for 4 months. And I didn't do anything to stop him. I was wishing in my head he would stop, but nothing changed. I was wishing that my friend would come in and help me, but again, that never happened. I had every right to stand up for myself and tell Will that I did not appreciate his behavior and, to be honest, he could screw off. But I chose to be powerless. I chose to be dependent on Will stopping or dependent on my friend to help me. When this whole time I had the power to do something. But since I didn't have any self-respect, I gave up that power. When I was 28, I was working for free at this small consulting firm. The partner of the firm wanted to offer me employment starting in a couple months, but for whatever reason, he didn't immediately offer me a contract. So I asked him about it and he indicated that he would present the offer on a random date. When the date was about to occur, he told me he would get the contract a week later due to some delays on his end. Again, I was patient, yet when the new date came and the contract was not presented, I resigned immediately. Although I was leaving this job with no job prospects in my future, I had the self-respect to know that I deserved the basic professional etiquette. And since I couldn't get it at this consulting firm, I knew I would find it elsewhere. And eventually, I did. Self-respect will make you realize that you don't deserve to be treated poorly, and that you can do something about it. That's why self-respect is so crucial for being an independent person. Only an independent person can realize their power and the abundance of opportunities in the world. That being said, it can be easy to get carried away with too much self-respect. Now, one of the mistakes people make with self-respect is thinking they don't have anybody in life, aka being all by themselves, lone wolves, sigma males, etc. This is a wrong approach, and I'll tell you why. You have to understand this. We are social beings. So to achieve success in love, career, passion projects, etc., we need to work with other people. Even a king needs his ministers and advisors to rule a nation for it to prosper. Now, with self-respect, it's all about being too dependent on others when there is a whole world around you. People who lack self-respect latch onto people or opportunities thinking that there isn't much in the world, whereas people with self-respect know that the world is filled with countless people and opportunities, and they can find ones that fit their standard. So as you build your self-respect, just remember that you won't tolerate others who don't meet your standards, but will welcome with open arms those that do. Self-respect is all about giving ourselves the proper respect as human beings. Self-respect is needed to be independent since it helps you see yourself and others as human beings. When people or situations don't meet the standard, then it's a sign to walk away. Self-respect can make you independent in your love life, career, and anything that involves other people. To start building self-respect, get your basic affairs in order, build courage, and have values. If building self-respect is difficult, then go see a therapist. A simple mistake we make with self-respect is thinking that we don't need anybody. This is a wrong approach. Self-respect makes you independent, but you do need to work with others to achieve your goals. I hope this video clarifies self-respect and being an independent person. It seems people talk about being the alpha dude, sigma male, or top dog, but don't understand the basics of what creates an independent and well-rounded individual. And self-respect is a part of those basics. So make it a goal this year to build your self-respect. It's that important. Important enough for the American colonists to take on the Empire of Great Britain. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, and guys, remember, you're not just any type of nerd, you're a charismatic nerd.